What's up, guys? My name is Panzanite, and welcome back to more Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage. In the last episode, we had been taken away from our original destination of Dragon Shores and arrived in Glimmer in hopes of helping Laura, Hunter, the professor, and pretty much the rest of the people of Avalar to get rid of Ripto. And we kind of got through most of Glimmer, and we kind of arrived in Summer Forest now, the main hub world. Now we're going to head on through
Spyro,
to explore more.
This is the homeworld called Summer Forest. There are portals to many of the Avalar worlds around here. Unfortunately, Ripto has taken over the castle, and we need your help. Start by retrieving the talismans from each of the worlds you go to.
As you said, we kind of have to go off and collect the talismans from all the other worlds. I'm gonna make it first. And what you're supposed to do is kind of go through each area. There's some frogs. But yeah, we're going to be exploring more Summer Forest this episode and kind of seeing kind of what it has to offer, because it is our first main world area. Alright, so what you need to do... Oh, he's here.
Hiya, Spyro. Ripto smashed this bridge, so I guess you'll have to glide across it. Press X to jump, then press X again while you're still in the air to glide.
He sounds like kind of cynic, because I guess maybe he thinks that Dragon's supposed to fly, not glide. So he kind of look down on that. But yeah, Ripto's destroyed the bridge. Hunter actually would not be there if I didn't go down and collect those gems. He's pretty much someone like... Because you pretty much can't actually reach the end of the bridge area without gliding, I'm pretty sure. So he's pretty much like, oh, you messed up. Because the perspective's kind of strange with the bridge. You may not see it at first, how it dips down, or how it's, well, I guess, yeah, it dips down and is broken. However, he's pretty much the tutorial guy saying that you need, like, teaching how to glide. I kind of running around a little bit more. Also, I think I failed to explain this last episode, but the butterflies that you get, it may have shown off, I never actually mentioned it, that they are the source for Sparks to refill for you to regain your hits from Sparks. Every butterfly will actually move you back up from green to blue to yellow.
Hi, Spyro. You look like you're pretty agile. Let's try putting it to a test. See if you can get up this first step. Press X and hold it down to get more hang time.
And I was saying, if Sparks is gone, it goes from there to green. And if you go near a butterfly, Sparks will automatically chase after it. And once you start chasing after it, then it's pretty much his. However, if you eat a blue butterfly, no matter where Sparks is on his hit gauge, whether he's not even there, or green or blue, the blue butterfly will make him go straight back up to yellow. So it's kind of a full health recovery.
Not bad. Now, to make this next jump, you'll have to glide. Press X to jump, then press X again at the top of your jump to get the maximum glide distance.
And there again, he's acting kind of same to us, but he's also reteaching us the flying mechanic. Gliding mechanic. And you just barely make it.
Nice job! Now try to do a hover. Press X to jump, then press X again to glide. Then when you reach the end of your glide, press triangle to hover. Hovering will give you extra height and distance.
As I kind of explained last episode, you can, what do you pretty much call hover? Oops, I did it way too late actually. It was 25. At the end of your gliding anytime when you're gliding, at any point in it, you can hit triangle to get a little bit extra height. But he says distance, however, it's not as great as you would think. Also, I almost made that just by charge. Will he not come over here? Do we have to talk to him again? I do.
To hover, press triangle.
I'll skip this because he's going to tell us again. Oh, yes, he says a little bit different. Never mind. What you can also do is just charge and glide, and that gives you enough height, because if you start charging, you go quite a bit farther than if you just regularly ran.
Very good. Now for the hardest leap of all. You'll have to give this one everything you've got. Get a walking start, jump, glide, and hover just before you get to the edge of the platform. Don't forget to press forward on the D-pad or analog stick when you hover.
As I was saying, whenever he says the extra distance, it's not a lot, or at least not as much as you would probably think. You get some extra distance, but the height's the most important part.
You're a pretty good athlete. If I hadn't lost my running shoes, I'd take you on for real. For now, here's an orb for your collection.
And now from doing that, we get another orb. And it's kind of not really much of a quest for getting that orb, in a way. I guess sometimes the quests don't actually appear as I thought they would. Just kind of letting you know like what your objective is. Let's see, I'll grab all these gems. And we see Moneybags here. We talk to him.
Sorry, Spyro. I'd love to teach you how to swim underwater, but not as much as I'd love to take your treasure.
At least he's honest. For 500 gems, that's something we don't have, and that's not something you actually can do at this point, money-wise, because I don't think there's enough gems around Summer Forest where you're initially able to go into to be able to actually get 500 gems. We come, let's see, looks like a little under 100 short. I'm gonna talk to Zoe real quick, see what she says.
Sparks, the dragonfly following you around is your health indicator, Spyro. The brighter he is, the more hit points you have.
You know, I kind of explained that he is your health meter. And she says brighter, but it's more like she changes colors. But anyway, we'll head since we need more money, we'll head into Colossus, our first world. And as you're gonna see, what I kind of alluded to last episode, you kind of save in between worlds anytime you go into a portal, and also you get your gems, like tally up. Also love this. Because it's going to give you a little story, like without actually any kind of dialogue. It kind of tells you kind of what's going on in the world, or in this specific, or in a specific world. My bad. But yeah, all your gems are counted up when you go into any portal, and it'll kind of let you know how many gems you had before you went to the portal, and it transfers over to your total, which is pretty much whatever you have on hand, more so than how many you've collected altogether.
A Yeti has been rampaging around our home, but we've managed to trap him by shutting all the doors. If you talk to the other brothers, they will open the gates and guide you to him.
So yeah, a Yeti is now terrorizing these guys. These supposedly monks. And also, since we're kind of up in the mountain, the animal of choice that they decided to go with for getting butterflies is penguins. Which kind of, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense right now, aside from you being up in the mountain and there's snow. But on top of it being up really, really high, if you kind of, oh no, I did not mean to do that. I was just trying to like go over to the edge and look over just enough so you could see the white area down below, because this introduces the instant kill kind of drop zones, where if you fall off you instantly die. And I lost a life by mistake. That was a very quick first step with this LP.
Concentrating, I should be able to open this door for you.
So every time you kind of go to this mouth, teeth kind of thing, I also hate this reverse control scheme for the camera. They will start chanting and they'll open the door for you, and it kind of rotates around so you can go through. Also, I don't think I actually explained this for some reason. These vases, you blow on them with fire, no matter how much you do it, it will never melt and it will never break. You have to charge into them to be able to destroy them. It's kind of like how the bigger enemies can't be taken out by charges because they're so big. The size difference. Excuse me, you need to die, sir. The size difference is too great for you to actually overpower them. So this guy, and this one actually thinks raises up instead of turns.
Like this.
I believe this is the only one, I think, of any kind of doors that actually moves up instead of around.
Enemies like those yaks are too big to be charged. Your flame attack should easily take care of large enemies.
There's one thing I don't like about this little tutorial thing. This technically could have been useful back in Glimmer, because you faced bigger enemies back then as well. So I feel like that would have been a much better time to introduce that so you can kind of already be aware of it. But I guess because maybe they're more prominent here. I don't know. Now get 500 gems, so whenever we go back to Summer Forest, we can learn how to swim.
Each time you defeat an enemy, it will release a spirit particle. The spirit particles will activate the power-up in that world. If a power-up is inactive, you need to defeat more enemies.
This is what I was saying about before. It's kind of more early on in this level more than toward the end. And you can see we need 11. If you actually walk through it, it shows you how many you have currently, so you kind of know how many more enemies you have to kill. But also as a little side note, I don't know if it's just me not paying attention to how Zoe sounds, but when she's talking at that point, she sounds a lot different, or at least different enough for me to catch that her voice doesn't sound the same. I don't know if it's because there's like another voice actor for Zoe, or which I highly doubt, or if it was just a change in how they decided to make her talk. There's something that just kind of really like stuck out to me for some reason. Yeah, okay. So talk to this guy, and he'll
Look
chance
what I
as
can
well.
do.
I saw a gem back here, I think. Oh well. So yeah, whoops.
How can you be sure I really exist?
That was a really deep question. I was not expecting that. But yeah, when he chants, he raises and lowers his platform. And I believe this might be the only one to actually do so. That actually will constantly chant on a timed interval. So every kind of few seconds. Face. There you go. He will. I think it's the only one that actually like periodically, constantly chants. I don't think if you talk with any of the other monks, I don't think they will even bother chanting anymore.
Advice. You will glide farthest if you press the X button at the very top of your jump.
Thank you. Also, I kind of also point out, even though the hover movement is used mostly for trying to get extra height, I also kind of use it to kind of stop myself because I do understand that you lose momentum, but so it kind of stalls you, so you can kind of be a little more precise with where you're landing. And also, this I think introduces multiple gates. Every gate has the exact same number, so don't worry about it too much. And I believe, I'm not sure where I'm gonna go actually. I'll head this way, because I see enemies over here. Okay. Need one more, I think. Oh, no, I'm done. Hello. They put more enemies. I believe every area has more enemies than they do the requirement. Oops, the requirement for actually getting the gate unlocked. So this is kind of, if you miss one or don't want to go to a certain area, it kind of helps in that sense, I guess. But otherwise, I really don't know why they would put extras. Also, this is a new power-up. If you walk through it, you jump really high. It's pretty much what it does. It's a spring. You shoot up in the air. You get really, really far up. And I believe you can also glide like normal. So what I want to do is I want to go this way. So you can go from either side and jump up. You kind of glide there, but it pretty much just barely gets you up to the top. And I'm going to go back here to actually get some of these hidden gems. They're kind of out of the way, so you probably wouldn't actually be able to see them unless you try to go around. And as we walk in here, we can see the professor and some evil finding that, well, we flew away.
Oh, thank goodness you scared that evil spirit away. But now it will hide in the statues. If you were to flame all 10 statues, I'm sure you would chase it away for good.
Flame 10 green statues and difficulty is 3, even though I kind of disagree. For difficulty, I feel like it's more like a 2. But I can kind of understand it being a 3, because there are 10 statues out there, and the majority of the statues we have already seen up to this point. So as the professor said, flame statues, and you'll release the spirit. And this is not on a timed interval, so you don't feel rushed. Don't feel that you have to rush to get every statue flame before a certain amount of time. Once you flame a statue, the spirit will stay off of that statue for good. we kind of just go around, kind of backtrack. I believe these statues down here are the farthest you have to go down, or farthest you have to backtrack to get statues. There are no statues down there, which is really good, I guess. Yeah, I believe all statues but 2 are statues that we've actually kind of walked past so far, but I've never really acknowledged them because of this particular quest. That's far. Small, get away. Now, I was gonna say, like, not trying to specifically kill all the kill those little things over and over again to actually get blue butterflies. I'm just pretty much killing them as I come by them. If they're kind of out of the way, I won't really bother with them, or if they run away from me, I won't bother with them. Also, this wind appeared sometime after you actually land over here. It kind of triggers at that point whenever you, because it's saying, hey, you've made it through there once, so you don't have to actually go all the way through that mess again, like with the chanting and going up the statue and all that, and the platforming. We'll be over here. Our last 2 statues are actually over here, and we have not seen either of them yet. One is over here. It's really high up. And I think this is actually this statue I think was the hardest statue thing I had hardest statue I had to find, I guess. It kind of gave me a lot of trouble. And this is almost always my last statue to go to, because I didn't really know this existed. Because usually what I would do is I'll come up here and I'll drop down this way onto this area over here. And if we come over here, we find our last statue. However, I'm going to ignore it for a moment, because most quests, including this one, if you have to go out and perform certain tasks away from the person that actually gave you that specific quest, you will almost certainly be taken to them whenever you complete it. It's nice in a way, but also I want to take care of this first.
Ah, Spyro, welcome! We have found that hockey is a peaceful and calming sport. Would you like to join in a match against our goalkeeper?
Try against the goalkeeper? Yeah, sure, why not?
You have 2 minutes to score 5 goals in the red goal.
Difficulty is 2 stars. This one isn't really that hard. It's just kind of ice mechanics. You can't really come to a complete stop very easily, or maybe even at all. But the thing is, there's only a goalie. You don't have to worry about any kind of like other players, so it's not kind of a one versus like a team kind of hockey thing. Also, kind of funny how they say that he says that it's a peaceful sport and calming sport. Whenever in real life, there's a lot of people that actually like charge into people in hockey, or at least from what I've heard. I'm not a big hockey fan, to be quite honest. Oops. But I kind of know it's kind of basics. And also, if you want to try to jump off the ice to get a better shot, you can't. You can't jump off the ice. You actually have to get to a solid, or let's say solid, but some other ground that's not the ice. Also, kind of like the cheering effect of you actually having a puck in your mouth. Anyway. But the goalkeeper kind of tries to follow between you and the puck itself. It kind of just depends. He follows you whenever you have the puck in your mouth, but I believe he actually just goes after the puck itself. I just walked in there because he tried to block, but he missed. Oh, whoops. Basically, I was actually trying to try and see if I can get a goal in very quickly, because it kind of goes to the same place every single time. Also, if you're also trying to, you're trying to go onto the ground area where you have to go in and out of the ring, don't try that, because I believe you either automatically spit out the puck or you have to start over. So I believe it's just you spit out the puck and then new puck comes in, because otherwise it makes this mission much easier than it was intended, and it's slowing down. Okay, this is one thing I don't like about this, because you can't make. Can you stop actually? No, you can't. You can never stop on ice. That's good to know. Also, have 10 seconds. My gosh, I didn't even notice. There we go. Nothing too difficult.
Well done! Have this!
I got another ore for it.
Would you like to try a game of one-on-one?
Okay, sure.
The first to score 5 goals wins. You are shooting at the red goal. Off you go.
Score 5 goals before the red skater. Difficulty of 3 stars, and I am on the fence with it actually, with it being 3 stars. Sometimes it feels like it should be a 4-star, but it's kind of just dependent on, I guess, AI in a way. And that's your opponent. You also have a goalie, however, I hate the goalie, honestly, because as you just saw, instead of trying to hit the puck to Spyro, he hits it far away. And if the opponent's goalie gets the puck, they will try to give it right to the red skater, which is one thing I don't understand, honestly. It's because the goal isn't helping you out at all. See, he kind of hits it away from me instead of toward me, but it doesn't try to hit it to the other red skater. So I don't know why they programmed to do that. I assumed it was just misprogramming him, like them being the same, the 2 goalies being the same character, having the same AI to shoot and everything. But I don't really understand it, honestly, because it makes it more difficult to go get. See, he kind of hits it away. He kind of hits it wherever he's facing. As he is, and that's also a good way to score a goal, is to get in between the red skater and the blue goal, or the red goalie. Because the red team's goalie will shoot it straight to the red skater every single time. He might not make it, but he'll definitely try his best to. Also, yes, as I've been showing, you can flame the red skater to try and steal the puck from him and knock him over, and stealing him for a few seconds. However, he can do the same to you, except he'll kind of charge at you. You'll drop the puck if you have it. Just like if he had the puck, he would also drop it. I'm showing. I'm not doing right. Okay. Oh well. No big deal. Last time I did this, actually, it was 5-0. It was really, really good. Oh, come on. It was really, really good on my part. But yeah, the goalie on your team is not that great. I feel like it's kind of skewed a little bit, be extra difficult, and I feel like that's kind of where the difficulty comes from, for the most part, and because you're on ice and you can't fly or anything. That's kind of what I think of it, though. I don't like this mission that much, or quest, I guess, because it kind of really. Oh, come on! How did I pick that up? Oh, that's the thing too. You can, if you use your fire breath, try to go for the puck at the same time, you'll inevitably miss the puck. Yeah, I feel like it's kind of a little more difficult than it needs to be, because the goalie's not really helping you out, even though he technically should, by all means, because he is on your team. However, he doesn't help you at all, aside from trying to block the goal. And you pretty much only block the goal well if the puck actually is not on the red skater. Which I guess kind of makes sense, because if it's free, you kind of get more focused on it. One more goal. Match point now. Let's do this. Get out of the way. I really do hate the goalie sometimes. Wow, that was a blind shot. I didn't even know where the goalie was.
Well done. Have this.
Oops. I thought that was all he said at that time too. With that, we got another orb. This is make our second orb of this area. And up to 5. It's not bad. And what you can do now is you can play along with them. I don't think there's any scoring involved, but if you feel like you want to keep playing hockey for some reason, you can go for it. Which is kind of one thing I like. They kind of, for things like this that have activity and all that, they will usually have something there for you to keep playing with it.
You've scared the evil spirit away. Why don't you take this? I borrowed it from the temple. They don't need it.
And with this, we have our third and final orb of this area, which is not bad at all. I wonder how many gems I have left in this area. 12. I want to say 18. I don't know why. I want to say the last 12 gems are inside this area. And you can kind of see, you can see this thing up here that's kind of sticking out. This will play a little important.
Even though I'm a vegetarian, I think you should kill that Yeti. He's pretty tough, though. In fact, I'm not so sure you're up to it.
That's interesting. I don't really see the correlation between vegetarian and not wanting to kill the Yeti. It's just like, I'm not going to eat roasted potatoes. This is kind of one thing I love about Spyro. Kind of like examples like this, the humor in this game is great. You see, it kind of just causes him demise.
I thought the Yeti was tougher than that. I guess he was all bark. Anyway, I was just guarding our sacred talisman to make sure the Yeti didn't eat it.
And now we have the Colossus Talisman. It makes 2 talismans so far. So let's grab all these other gems, and I believe this will complete the area. Yep. And every time you complete the area, you have the area complete. It will show you a green gem, the talisman, and the orb. And it has a little tune, a little fanfare that shows that you completed it. But now, because there's nothing more left for us in Colossus, let's go. We'll be heading back to Summer Forest. And at the end of every area, aside from Glimmer, once you complete the area, or I say complete, but you pretty much you can go with no gems, no orbs, and you'll still see the cutscene because it's just once you can get the talisman and leave, you'll have a scene that kind of shows a little post area. And I love how I talked over that, and I really shouldn't have. My bad. As you see, we got 400 gems, and now we have 807 gems. It's not bad at all. And I think I'll about to end the episode, but I think before we do that, let's get our ability to swim underwater.
Spyro. Would you like to learn to swim underwater? I suppose I could teach you for a small fee.
Now they have the money, we can now pay him to teach us how to swim.
Great. Okay. When you jump in the water, you can use the D-pad to move around the surface. Use square to dive underwater. When you are underwater, use X to paddle and square to charge.
And now we have the ability to swim underwater, which will be useful for us later on. And see, we can kind of just stay underwater. And Sparks has a bubble around him, so he can still survive because he can't breathe underwater. But if you hit the flame button, circle button, pretty much, you spit out bubbles. But I think with that, it's time to end the episode off. We have gone through Colossus, completely finished Colossus, I should say. We learned how to swim underwater, and we also explored a little bit more of Summer Forest. In the next episode, we'll probably do a little more exploration of the Summer Forest now that we can charge and swim underwater, excuse me. And we might even start another area. So until then, have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time.